good, quality good. Let me know. I think it should be fine. I'm gonna go check the stream quality before we start. But we're gonna be talking about college basketball for exactly 1 hour. Hold on, let me make sure stream quality is good. I might also make a community post. My channel. This stream. I'm gonna make a community post. Oh my god, that quality looks terrible. This stream. I'm gonna make a community post. Oh my god, that quality looks terrible. I think okay. I got one like. Alright. I think we're good. What is I closed it. Alright, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Quincyville Sports stream. We got 2 people in here. Let me know who you are, because I'm going to be taking chat questions, and I'm also going to make a community post about this real quick. But we are going to be talking about a lot of things college basketball related on this stream, including, but not limited to, bracketology, standings, and much, much more. So how's everyone doing today? Let me know in chat who's in here. What's up, George Skiddo? What's up, football fan? Hang on the... Hoops. Come hang on the stream and talk. Alright, we're ready. So, okay, first question. Will Texas make a late season comeback and make the tournament? Alright, let's find the Big 12 standings on here. That's the Big 10, the best conference known to man. Texas is 7-8 in conference and 17-11 overall. Not great. Next, they play at Texas Tech, and then it is at Oklahoma. They're going to probably have to win both those games, and I honestly see them losing both. So, do I like Joe Lunardi or Jerry Palms? Definitely Jerry Palms, if you ask me. I think he's way better, in my personal opinion. But I think what we're going to do to start this off is go through my latest bracketology, because you guys should be looking at mine more than you look at Joe Lunardi. What seed will Michigan get? I have Michigan right now as a 5 playing... I have them as a 5 playing Stephen F. Austin in the first round. That would be an exciting first round matchup. I'd probably take Stephen F. Austin, but it is what it is. What seed do I think Kentucky will get? I think we'll honestly get a 2 or a 3. I have Kentucky as a 3 playing Wright State in the first round. Wright State's a sneaky team, but I honestly think Kentucky would end up winning that game. But my 1 seeds. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the CBS bracketology. But my 1 seeds are Kansas, Baylor, Gonzaga, and Dayton. I have Dayton over St. Diego. You believe Duke can lose in the first or second round? This team is inconsistent. I have Duke playing Hofstra in the first round, a 22-7 Hofstra team. And then they would probably end up playing West Virginia or Wichita State in the second round. Do I think Minnesota will make the tournament? No. Their team's below 500 in conference, and I don't see them having enough. CBS doesn't even have them in their bubble talk. So... But my 1 seeds are Kansas, Gonzaga, Baylor, and Dayton. I have Dayton above San Diego State because if we look at San Diego State's teams they've played, and it's not that many great teams, their best win is probably Iowa. That's the one good team they've beaten, but other than that, they really don't have much. Whereas Dayton, I think, plays in a tougher conference. I think the Atlantic 10 is very respectable because what's it called? The A10 has Richmond projected to make the tournament, in my bracket at least. Rhode Island, who I have in the tournament. VCU's very good. I think the Atlantic 10 is better than the Mountain West. Mountain West does have Utah State, though. Where do I have Creighton? I have them as a 4 playing Yale in the first round. Do I think they would have beaten... Who are we talking about? Oh, my God. They would have beaten North Carolina. I would have had them in my last 4 in. They really did play well against UNC. You see Oregon being a nice tournament team. I like Baylor, San Diego State. Will have made way too much pressure on them. I think Baylor gets out of the Sweet 16, and San Diego State will make the Elite Eight. So let's talk about Oregon. I have them as a 4, playing Akron in the first round. I feel like they will. Although Akron is a very good team, I still think they'd win that. And then they would have to play the winner of Michigan and Stephen F. Austin, which would be a tough game. But Peyton Pritchard, Oregon made the Sweet 16 last year. So I really think that they can be a dangerous team in the tournament. I think they are definitely capable of making a run. Maryland does not win. If Maryland does not win, what seed do I have them at? So if they lose to Michigan State, which, God, I'm hoping Michigan State wins that so badly. But if Maryland loses, let's see. Okay, I'll just look at Maryland's roster. They are, what's their quad 1 record? They're 6-5 against the quad 1, 6-0 against quad 2, 3-0 against quad 3, 4-0 or 7-0 against quad 4. Okay. They're at Minnesota today, later today. If they lose to Michigan State, I'd still keep them on the 2. No, they're a 3. I think they drop to a 3 if they lose. You feel San Diego State is a little overrated? You think they should be a 2 seed? I have them as a 2 seed. Played Colgate in the first round. But let's go through all the seeds I have. And you guys can tell me if you agree or disagree. 1 seeds, Kansas, Baylor, Gonzaga, Dayton. 2 seeds, San Diego State, Florida State, Villanova, Maryland. 3 seeds, Kentucky, Auburn, Duke, even with their bad loss, and Louisville. 4 seeds, Creighton, Penn State, Oregon, Seton Hall. 5 seeds, Michigan State, BYU, Michigan, and Colorado. 6 seeds, Ohio State, Arizona, Iowa, and West Virginia. 7 seeds, Butler, Marquette, Houston, Illinois. Duke is getting shocked this year in the first round. I'd like to see that happen. 8 seeds, LSU, St. Mary's, Virginia, Arizona State. Arizona State's on a tear. 9 seeds, Texas Tech, USC, Indiana, and Wisconsin. 10 seeds, Oklahoma, Utah State, Florida, and Xavier. 11 seeds, the Northern Iowa, Wichita State, and then my last 4 in the 2 11-seed play-ins. Cincinnati playing UCLA. UCLA has been on a tear in the Pac-12. They share, I think, part of the Pac-12 lead or whatever. If they could show up in the Pac-12 tournament, I still think they could make it in. 17 and 11, they would be my last team in as of now. And then Rhode Island and Rutgers. So, Rhode Island, Rutgers, Cincinnati, UCLA, my last 4 in. 12 seeds. Got to pay attention to these because we love the 5-12s. Stephen F. Austin, East Tennessee State, Richmond, and Liberty. 13 seeds. Akron, New Mexico State, Yale, Vermont. 14 seeds. Wright State, UC Irvine, Hofstra, and Arkansas Little Rock. 15 seeds. North Texas, Colgate, Montana, and Belmont. Which team is better, Dayton and San Diego State? Dayton. Definitely Dayton. Jalen Crutcher and Obi Toppin can win you a game by themselves. They're that good. I really like how Dayton's been playing. Since they lost to Colorado, they've really been playing well. 16 seeds to end this out. Radford and Siena I have playing in the first round play-in. And then Norfolk State, Prairie View A&M I have as a play-in. And then the other 2 are South Dakota State and St. Francis, Pennsylvania. That is my tournament field as of now. But I say that I'll look at CBS's Bracketology, and I'll give you the ceiling and floor. How about this? We'll play a game called Ceiling and Floor. You guys can play along with in the chat. You can give me your predictions. The farthest this team could go and the lowest this team could go. All right, we'll start. I have a list of what CBS has as their top teams. I just have a list right here. So, first team, San Diego State. Their ceiling, St. John's at Villanova is a close game. Oh, I'm watching the game. I'm watching St. John's Villanova. So, no, we're not. It's not seeds. We could do seeds. That's actually a good idea. Well, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go with the farthest they can go in the tournament, and the lowest they'll go in the tournament. San Diego State. Their ceiling is Elite Eight. I don't see them competing with a Gonzaga, Baylor, or a Kansas, or a Dayton, or a Duke, or a Florida State, or a Louisville, or even a Seton Hall. I don't see them being able to stand up and compete with a team like that in the Elite Eight. I think that's the farthest they'll go. Their floor, round of 32. I don't see them getting upset in the first round by like a UMBC or like some of our 16 seeds here. Radford, Siena. So I'm going to go round of 32. I feel like a good 8 seed could trip them up. So good 8 seeds we have. 8-9s, Virginia, USC, Indiana, St. Mary's, LSU, Wisconsin, Texas Tech, Arizona State. Any of those teams can knock off San Diego State. Kansas, their ceiling is national championship. They are that good of a team, and they still don't have Silvio De Sousa, the guy who was out for fighting against Kansas State. By the way, they play Kansas State this Saturday at Kansas State. That'll be a fun game to watch because Kansas State. But for Kansas, they're that good. Devin Dotson is a legit player. I really like the way they play. Azubuike just owns that paint. That is his paint. You don't come into his paint. Houston, probably 6 or 7. I have Houston as... Where did I put them? I have Houston as a 7. You're right. I have them as a 7. All right. So they're Kansas, the lowest, Sweet 16. They'll definitely get to the second weekend, but I can see maybe like a 4 seed like Seton Hall or Creighton upsetting them. Baylor, ceiling, national championship, floor, Sweet 16. Same thing as Kansas. Gonzaga, ceiling, Final Four. I can never see Gonzaga winning a championship just because they always get so close and they blow it. Just because they are never prepared enough in the regular season. So I think ceiling, national championship game appearance. Sorry, Zags. Floor, round of 32. I could see a good 8 seed tripping them up. Dayton, ceiling, national championship contender. I really think. We'll get to Kentucky later. I'm going through every single team. We'll eventually get to Kentucky. Which team is better, Dayton or Gonzaga? Dayton. I'm high on Dayton. Dayton, ceiling, national championship, floor, round of 32. I could see a good 8 seed tripping them up. So that's my... Maryland, ceiling, Final Four. Floor, Sweet 16. I think they'll definitely get to the second weekend. Villanova, ceiling, Final Four. Floor, they're not playing great against St. John's. I'll go floor, round of 32. Florida State, ceiling, national championship. They're really good. I like Florida State. I'm really high on them. Their floor, Sweet 16. BYU. We'll do BYU right now. How about that? BYU, ceiling, and this is a bit ambitious, Elite 8. I like BYU. I'm high on them. Floor, first round. They could be out the first round, or they could make a run. BYU is scary. How about Ohio State? Okay, keep racking off teams in the comments. We'll just do that. Ohio State, ceiling, Sweet 16. Floor, round of 64. Duke, ceiling, national championship. Floor, round of 32. Kentucky, ceiling, national champion. Floor, Sweet 16. I like Kentucky a lot. Creighton, way too low. Already won at Seton Hall and had a split with Villanova. 15-6 against Tier 1. No losses to any lower tier. Kansas and Baylor are the only 2 others. Okay, Creighton, ceiling, Elite 8. Floor, first round. Seton Hall, Ceiling national championship. I'm high on Seton Hall. Quincy McKnight and Miles Powell can get you wins on their own, but their floor round of 32. Butler ceiling Sweet 16. I don't like Butler that much. I really don't. They have a losing conference record. Really don't like them. They might be able to get into the Sweet 16. Floor first round exit. I'll keep going on this list. Creighton, Louisville ceiling national championship. Floor round of 32. The problem with Louisville is sometimes they just don't look interested in the game, and that really concerns me. That's the same problem that Michigan State has. Next team on this list is Penn State. Ceiling Final Four. They have looked very good down the stretch, but I mean they've lost 2 in a row. I don't know. Floor round of 32. Auburn. Law, remember when Florida was ranked really, really high? I do remember that. Auburn. Oh, Texas. Ceiling making the tournament. Floor not making the tournament. Illinois. Ceiling Elite 8. I'm high on Illinois. Ayo Dosunmu is really good, and they play as a team. Kofi Cockburn's really good, too. Ceiling Elite 8. Floor first round. Marquette. Ceiling Sweet 16. Floor first round. Indiana. Ceiling Sweet 16. Floor first round. All right, next on this list is Oregon. Ceiling Elite 8. I don't see them breaking through into the Final Four. I don't see it happening. Toronto Maple Leafs. Ceiling Stanley Cup. I'm kidding. Ceiling Conference Finals. Roof, or no, the floor not making the playoffs at all. Next four out. Memphis, Georgetown, Arkansas, South Carolina. That's like the first four teams out. Colorado. Ceiling Sweet 16. Floor first round. I don't like Colorado at all. I really think they're going to get upset by like an East Tennessee State or a Stephen F. Austin. All right, next team on this list, West Virginia. Ceiling Sweet 16. They've lost their last two. They haven't really allowed there. I didn't know West Virginia had a losing Big 12 record. Stephen F. Austin, ceiling Sweet 16. They can make a run. They're scary. I like Stephen F. Austin a lot. Floor, first round exit. Iowa, ceiling Sweet 16. Floor round of 32. Virginia defending national champions. Ceiling Elite 8. They could go on a run. They got that monkey off their backs. They won a national championship. They can play with not as much pressure now. Ooh, Villanova just drilled a key three. That's probably going to be the dagger for St. John's. So, who are we talking about? Okay, Texas Tech, same thing as Virginia. Ceiling Elite 8, floor first round. Providence, ceiling round of 32. Floor not making the tournament at all. Arizona, ooh. I'll go ceiling Sweet 16 and floor first round. That's going to be a lot of these teams. UCLA, ceiling round of 32. Floor not making the tournament at all. Florida, ceiling round of 32. Floor not making the tournament at all. Arizona State, ceiling Sweet 16. Floor round of 30. Round of 64. That's going to be a lot of teams. I just realized that. Michigan, ooh. Ceiling for Michigan. Elite 8, honestly. They've beaten some really good teams. They beat Gonzaga. They beat Oregon. They beat North Carolina. Well, North Carolina really isn't that good. But they can make it to the Elite 8. They can go on a run. But, oh, Michigan State. Okay, this is going to be so biased. Ceiling Final Four. If this team plays as a team, they can make the Final Four. If they get their stuff together come tournament time, Izzo knows how to do like 1 year Michigan State made the Final Four as a 7th seed. They know how to get it done in the tournament. So ceiling Final Four, floor first round. Houston. Ooh. Ceiling Sweet 16, floor first round. We already did Florida. I said round of 32 or not in the tournament at all. LSU. Ooh. Let's see. They're 19-8. They're not that bad. I would go ceiling I don't think they could break through into the Elite Eight, so I'm going to go ceiling Sweet 16, floor. South Carolina, ceiling play-in team, floor first round of the NIT. Texas, I already said this, either best case play-in, is that ceiling, floor, not making the tournament at all. Okay, we'll do a few more. Indiana, I think we already did them. Xavier, ceiling round of 32. I don't like it that much. Memphis, ceiling round of 32. Floor, not making the tournament at all, and that's where I think they're at right now, not making the tournament at all. But they can make the round of 32, I feel like. If they make it, they can win one game. Oklahoma, ceiling round of 32. I don't think they make it to the Sweet 16. USC, same thing. Arkansas, not making the tournament. Northern Iowa, ceiling. Oh my god, that was such a bad voice crack. Ceiling Sweet 16. If they really go on a run, they could. Floor, not making the tournament at all. Stephen F. Austin State. East Tennessee State, ceiling Sweet 16. They can make a Cinderella run. Floor, not making a tournament at all. Wichita State, ceiling Sweet 16. Wake Forest now, ceiling, not making the tournament. Ceiling, winning the NIT. They're not going to make the tournament at all. Akron, New Mexico State, UC Irvine. All these teams are going to be ceiling, winning a game. Floor, not winning a game. All right, that's enough ceiling and floor. So now, I say we're going to look at some conference standings. That's the schedule for today. Okay. Standings. Let's look at each conference. All 32, even the little conferences. So we're going to go alphabetically. So the SEC is going to be near last alphabetically. Sorry. The America East. I will talk about if the team that's leading the conference, will they do well in the tournament? Who knows? The America East. Vermont leads the conference with a 12-2 conference record and a 22-7 overall record. They are 85th in the net. Not terrible. Stony Brook is behind by 2.5 games. I don't see them winning. I think this is Vermont's conference to lose. You UMBC fans, they are 7-6 in conference and 14-14 overall. On a 5-game winning streak, though. So, but I think Vermont could upset like a Colorado or a, who's another team that I think might get upset? Marquette, maybe. I don't know. I think Vermont's pretty good. The American. So this is a wacky conference that's just sort of hard to project. So, all right. Houston leads the conference at 11-4. Or no, Houston, Tulsa, and Cincinnati are all 11-4. SMU 9-6. They're 19-8. They're creeping up. I mean, maybe. You think Tulsa's winning the American? That would give them an automatic bid. I like Tulsa, honestly. I mean, Martin Zigbanu, great player. I think Houston makes the tournament. Wichita State makes the tournament with their terrific out-of-conference record. I mean, they only lost one game out of conference. And I can see one of Tulsa, Cincinnati making the tournament. One, not both. I say 3 teams will make it. I don't see Memphis making it. The ACC, Florida State, 14-3. They lead the conference. Half game back is Louisville at 14-4. Duke is 13-4, half game back. Then Virginia is 11-5. So that's your top 4 right there. They're all going to make the tournament. Florida State's going to be like a 2, Louisville will be like a 3, Duke will be a 3, and Virginia will be like an 8. Syracuse, not making the tournament. NC State might, but probably not making the tournament. Clemson, no. Georgia Tech, no. And the rest of these teams aren't going to make it. Dude, North Carolina's last. I thought they were like second to last. They're dead last. The Atlantic Sun. This is an interesting one. So Liberty is 26-3. They're dangerous. They're a 12 seed in my bracket. I think they could have a 12-5 upset. But only a half game back is the North Florida Ospreys. If North Florida wins this conference, which is not out of the realm of possibility, they're only a half game behind, maybe Liberty gets upset, and if they were to win this conference, a whole conversation would be brought up of does Liberty deserve a play-in spot? And I'd venture to say yes. I think if North Florida somehow pulls it off and wins this conference, they get in as a 16 seed or a 15 seed. I think that you got to give Liberty a bid. Let me know in the comments or in the chat if Liberty loses the Atlantic Sun and let's say they finish 23-4, but they lose. Florida finna win the national championship as a 13 seed. They have Kerry Blackshear. Oh, okay. We have Scotty. Okay. But do you think that Liberty would deserve a tournament spot? Because I think they would. I really think they would. They definitely would deserve a tournament spot. And that could screw things up if that ends up happening. Okay, the Atlantic 10. So this conference, you're either really, really top-heavy or you are St. Joe's and Fordham with one conference win. Put Liberty as a 12 seed in Dayton. Or like a play-in team. Alright, I can see that. So, for the Atlantic 10, Dayton, I think they're the only team that's still undefeated in conference. Because Gonzaga lost. So I think they're the only team still undefeated in conference. We'll have to see. No, I think New Mexico State is. Yeah, New Mexico State's still undefeated in conference. Anyway, Dayton will be a 1 or 2 seed. Rhode Island is 11-3. I think they get in as a play-in or like a 10. Richmond also play-in or like a 11 or 12. St. Bonaventure won't make it. Davidson won't make it. St. Louis probably not. Duquesne. St. Louis and Duquesne would both need to show up in a big way. And by a big way, I mean they're probably going to have to upset Dayton. And I mean, both. I mean, Duquesne had a lead at half about a week ago. And I mean, St. Louis played Dayton well all season. So it's not beyond their own possibility. Do you like Arizona State and what could their highest seed they could be? Right now, I have Arizona State as an 8. I like them a lot. I really think that they're a good team. I think they're pretty good. I like Arizona State. My top 5 teams: Kansas, Baylor, Gonzaga, Dayton, and Kentucky. Yeah. I don't like San Diego State. The Big East. Seton Hall leads the conference at 12-3. Creighton 1 game back at 11-4. Villanova just won today, so they're also 11-4. Providence 9-6. Now Providence is in an interesting spot because we're all in the consensus that Marquette's going to make the tournament, and Butler's going to make the tournament, and Xavier's going to make the tournament. But Providence has a better conference record than both of those. Butler and Xavier both have losing conference records. And I mean, Providence had a horrendous start to the year. Horrendous start to the year. I think if they keep, are going to be a playing team making the tournament. Who's my favorite for the Wooden Award? Definitely Obi Toppin. Without a doubt, Obi Toppin. I don't see anyone else being Obi Toppin. The Big Sky. This is, alright, so Montana. Would you agree that if Florida could have our leads, we would be beating Kentucky by 12, Baylor by 7? No, not at all. Montana is winning the conference, but Eastern Washington and Colorado, and Northern Colorado are both only a game behind. So, who's winning the NIT? Memphis. I don't know, to be honest with you. The NIT is just the not invited tournament. Eastern Washington, Northern Colorado, and Montana are all going to be coming down, but I don't think any of those will make any noise in March 1 and 2. Oh, the Big Ten. So, Maryland is leading the conference at 12-4. Michigan State at 11-6. Penn State, Illinois, Wisconsin, all at 10-6. Iowa 10-7. Michigan 9-7. Rutgers 9-8. Illinois, Ohio State, and Indiana are 8-8. Minnesota 7-9. Purdue 7-10, and Nebraska 2-14. And Nebraska 150. Top 5 bracket busters this year. Stephen F. Austin, East Tennessee State, Northern Iowa, New Mexico State, Hofstra. Most overrated team, San Diego State. Or Colorado. I don't like Colorado. Could Michigan make a deep run? Yes. I definitely could see Michigan making a deep run. But Maryland will make the tournament. Michigan State will make the tournament. Penn State, Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, Michigan, Rutgers. Rutgers maybe. Maybe, but I'm going to say yes. Ohio State, yes. Indiana, yes. Minnesota, Purdue, Nebraska, Northwestern, no. The Big 12. Now, this is interesting because Baylor and Kansas have just been beating up on everyone. So they're both 14-1 in conference. Texas Tech 9-6, and the rest of the teams have a losing conference record. So Baylor will be a 1. Kansas will be a 1 or a 2. Texas Tech will be a 9. West Virginia will be like a 5. Even though I honestly think Texas Tech maybe should be ahead of West Virginia. My most overrated team, I already said San Diego State. What seed will IU get? I have them as a 9. Alright, hold on. I need to scroll all the way back up. Where were we? Big 12. Okay, Big South. This is going to be interesting because Hurricanes fan 05, you're new to the channel. What's up? Glad you could be here. I'm a Leafs fan. If you didn't know, your team beat us with our assistant. Well, welcome to the channel. Radford is 14-2. Winthrop is 13-3 in conference. Gardner-Webb kind of in the conversation at 9-5, but not really. This is gonna come down to a championship game between Radford and Winthrop, and either team I think could have a chance for an upset in March, but that's gonna be an exciting championship game. The Big West, UC Irvine has ran away with this conference, by far and away. The Colonial Hofstra is gonna definitely win this conference. William and Mary. Maybe, but I don't think so. Wisconsin, I have them as a 9, and I honestly think they're just going to lose in the second round. You should tune into the Virginia Tech versus Virginia. Hold on. Let me see. I don't feel like looking at a Jay Wright interview. Okay. Sabres Avalanche. Bradley at Illinois State. MLB Baseball. Cleveland Indians at Padres. Let's watch Virginia Tech. What's the score of this game? 44-43. Okay. But for the Colonial, Hofstra's going to win this. William and Mary might make some noise, but I personally don't see it happening. The Conference USA. This is an interesting one. It is a 3-team race between North Texas, Louisiana Tech, and Western Kentucky. I think it's probably going to be Louisiana Tech, to be honest with you. I actually think they're going to win that. The Horizon. Now, Wright State, 24-6. They're really, really good. I honestly like Wright State a lot. I think that they could be an upset team in March. Watch South Carolina versus Georgia. No, we're watching this game. Most overrated player? Give me some time to think about this one. My most overrated player would have to be... Ooh. I can't even think of one. I mean, most underrated player? Jalen Crutcher of Dayton. He's a great secondary player to Obi Toppin. Doesn't get enough credit. I like Jalen Crutcher a lot. As an OSU fan, you had to say it. Michigan is my sleeper team to win the Big Ten title. I don't see that happening. Most overrated player. I don't know, to be honest with you. Nico Mannion. I don't know. Nico Mannion's pretty good, too. Most underrated is Emmanuel Quickly. He's pretty good. I like Quickly. I can't even think of any overrated players, honestly. Auburn or Kentucky? Who do I got? I got Kentucky. Kentucky, they really impressed me, to be honest with you. They're like just under the radar, really good. Standings update, we'll keep going. The Ivy League, Yale's currently winning the conference, but Harvard and Princeton are both a game back, but I still think Yale's just going to win it. Cassius Winston, pretty overrated, not going to lie. Oh, don't say that. I'm about to kick you out. I'm kidding, I won't kick you out. Cassius Winston is the only player on Michigan State, and Xavier Tillman. The Virginia Tech women's tennis team. They got t-shirts coming your way. Okay. The MAC, I think it's the Mid-American Athletic Conference. St. Peter's and Siena are in a tight race. This conference is pretty bad, but I think it's going to probably be Siena taking this one home. St. Peter's is probably still, but he's supposed to be the best player in college basketball. Yeah, he's still a Wooden Award finalist. God, who's the most overrated player? Oh my God, I can't even think of one. MAC is first four for sure. Yeah, you're right. Ooh, the MEAC also first four. North Carolina A&T is winning this conference, but I have Norfolk State. I honestly think they're the best team. Actually, no. Why do I have Norfolk State? It's gonna be North Carolina A&T. They're 11-3 in conference. Shout out. Hold on. Quick shout out to Howard, 2-26, and Delaware State, 3-24. The Mid-American, also known as the MAC. This is Northern Illinois is winning the MAC West right now, and Bowling Green is winning the MAC East. But I think it's gonna be Akron making the tournament. I think they're the best out of any of these teams. The Missouri Valley. Here's another interesting point. Northern Iowa's 12-4. Very nice. Loyola Chicago is 12-5. Cash Winston. Oh yeah. But let's say Loyola Chicago wins. Let's say they win the conference. Does Northern Iowa get a play-in bid? I don't think so. I don't think they give it to them. Mountain West, San Diego State running away with it. Utah State, 23-7. I have them as a 10. I think they'll make the tournament as well. I think Mountain West is going to get two teams. The Ohio Valley. Ooh, this is a tight race. Tight race. Scotty Lewis High School. No, I have not. You cannot have a tighter race. Belmont 13-3 in conference. Murray State 13-3 in conference. And Austin P 13-3 in conference. Three very good teams right there. Let's see. The net has Belmont as the best. Okay. Belmont's a win streak. They are coming in with momentum. I'm liking Belmont. Maybe an upset pick. I have them as a 15. Probably could be way higher than a 15. I haven't played Villanova, but I think they could probably be way higher than a 15. The Northeast, Merrimack is 13-4. St. Francis, PA is 12-4. You should do a podcast, not going to lie. It'd be pretty good. Maybe a good idea. What do I have Ohio State? I have them as a 6, playing the winner of Cincinnati-UCLA playing game. Definitely would pick Ohio State in that game. The Pac-12. All right, I want to take some time to talk about the Pac-12 because... Okay, so Arizona State, unbeknownst to me, based on your bracket, who do I think will go to the Final Four? Okay, hold on. Coming out of the Midwest, I like Kansas. Coming out of the West, I like Gonzaga. Actually, no, I like Auburn. I know Auburn isn't West, but that's just how this worked out. The South. I like Baylor. And the Midwest, I like Kentucky. What happened to Ohio State? They fall off a cliff. They're kind of coming back a little bit. Okay, but the Pac-12. Arizona State 10-4. Colorado, Oregon, UCLA all 10-5. And then Arizona 9-5. USC 8-7, Stanford 7-7, and then you got your bottom feeders. Who do I think will win Saturday? Maryland, Michigan State. I think Maryland's gonna win. Arizona State will be like a 9 or an 8. Colorado and Oregon, I have them as about a 5. But here's the thing. Oregon has beaten good teams. Colorado has not at all. Colorado, I mean, they beat Dayton though. Still don't like Colorado. I'm not a fan. I will always take a 12 seed over Colorado, no matter what bracketology I'm doing. UCLA, they're trending upwards towards maybe a play-in bid. Arizona and USC, I have Arizona as a 6. I like Nico Mannion. Arizona's dangerous. Nico Mannion and Josh Green, they could easily make a run. They can. I agree with you 100% there. Stanford. I mean, not a fan. Not a fan of Stanford at all. Not a fan. Don't think they'll make the tournament. The Patriot Conference, that's Colgate. The Toothpaste Warriors are definitely going to win that. Shout out to Holy Cross, 3-26 on the season. FSU. Elite 8, Final Four caliber. Dangerous team. The SEC. Kentucky 13-2. Auburn's the next at 11-4. Kentucky on a 7-game winning streak. I like them a lot. I do. I really like them a lot. Indiana School's really choking down the stretch with a puffing emoji. All right, Kentucky 3 seed, Auburn 3 seed, LSU 8 seed, Florida 10 seed, Mississippi State maybe a play-in team, but probably not. Same thing with South Carolina. And then the rest of you aren't making the tournament. Okay, here's the conference I want to talk about. We'll take probably about 5 minutes discussing this. The Southern Conference. Okay. East Tennessee State is 25-4. Very, very good. Which should be my Cinderella team? Either East Tennessee State or Stephen F. Austin. Probably Stephen F. Austin. But East Tennessee State, the Buccaneers are 25-4. But they are not the only good team in the conference. UNC Greensboro and Furman are both 13-3 in conference and 23-6 overall. So East Tennessee State, UNC Greensboro, and Furman are all dominant teams. They all could probably upset one in the first round, but only one of them is going to make it. Maybe 2 if they give East Tennessee State a play-in. Like, let's say Furman wins the conference. They could maybe give East Tennessee State a play-in. They probably should. But this, I'm telling you guys, pay attention to this conference tournament. East Tennessee State, UNC Greensboro, and Furman, all dangerous teams that can make an upset in the first round. And UNC Greensboro, I think, plays Furman today. That would be... Who's winning that game? Hold on, I want to look at that. Furman is up 8 on the road. Okay, the Furman Paladins. All right, your team, not mine. But UNC Greensboro is also really good. But I'm telling you, Furman, UNC Greensboro, East Tennessee State. Whoever wins that conference, look at my TV. Virginia's up 2 on Virginia Tech. All of those teams they all could win that conference, and they could all make an upset in the first round. So I'd pay attention to that conference. They have Kentucky in the house. They have East Tennessee State as 39th in the net. East Tennessee State leads Wofford. Ooh, they're only up 2? Wofford's pretty good. This whole conference is pretty good. Like Mercer, they upset Duke one year. Shout out to Citadel. They are 0-16 in conference. But they okay, so the net. East Tennessee State is 39th in the net. UNC Greensboro 61, Furman 78. I think that's disrespectful. All these teams are really good. I mean, they both have 20 wins and single-digit losses. I like all three of these teams to win a game in March to whoever makes it. We know one of them is going to make it. And I think, question, if Furman wins the conference, do you give East Tennessee State a play-in? I say yes. I think you got to get as many good small schools in as you can. Like I would take a 30-6 East Tennessee State team over a 21-13 Memphis team. Depends on what East Tennessee State loses in their conference tournament. Okay, yeah, you're right. Let's look at East Tennessee State's remaining games. They play full schedule for East Tennessee State. Because I think Furman beat them earlier in the season. Let's see. Okay, if we look at East Tennessee State's schedule, they lost to Kansas by 12 on the road. That's not even a bad loss. They lost to North Dakota State. Not great. They beat LSU at LSU. That, I think, tells you something. They lost to Furman at Furman. They beat UNC Greensboro. They lost to Mercer. Ooh, they got killed by Mercer. That's a bit alarming. They got revenge on Furman. They beat Samford. Right now, they are down by 8 to Wofford. Oh, no, they're down by 2 to Wofford. Okay. They got to win this game, East Tennessee State. This is a game they're definitely going to want to win. But enough talk about the Southern Conference. I honestly think East Tennessee State's going to end up winning that conference, and I honestly would consider giving either Furman or UNC Greensboro a play-in bid, but I don't think that'll happen. All right, 47 minutes. 13 more minutes to go, because we're going for exactly an hour. The Southland Conference. This is Stephen F. Austin's conference to lose. They're 15-1 in conference. They're 24-3 overall. They're riding an 11-game win streak. 22 seconds. Yeah, I've been watching this sort of off and on. I mean, the next closest team is Abilene Christian at 12-4, but let's look at Stephen F. Austin because I am as high as anyone on this team. The Northwestern... Ooh, that is a cool logo. The Northwestern State Demons? That's a cool logo. They're currently beating them by 21 in the second half. Full schedule. They beat Leo Turn. They beat NC Central. They beat Niagara. They beat Drexel. They lost to Rutgers by 12. Okay, that's not a great loss. They beat Duke in overtime at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Tell me that isn't a monster win. They beat Arkansas State, Artiglabap. They lost to Alabama by 10. All right, and then they lost to Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Ooh, but they have racked off a bunch of wins in a row. I think like 11 in a row, and they have been dominating teams. Beat Incarnate Word by 24. Beat Central Arkansas by 25. Beat Texas A&M Corpus Christi by 8. Is Texas A&M Corpus Christi like good or something? Beat Nicholls State by 14. Beat Sam Houston State. Beat Lamar. I mean, I like Stephen F. Austin. Trust me. Does Texas Southern get in if they lose in conference tourney? No. Texas Southern? No way they get in the tournament. They have like a losing record, don't they? Uh-oh. Tie game, 10 seconds to go. Virginia Tech. Oh, shoot, we might have overtime. Kihei Clark, 5 seconds for the win. Yes! Kihei Clark just drilled a shot to win the game. That's at 2.1 seconds, but look at Kihei Clark. Clutch win for the Cavs. Ooh, the Fun Belt. This is Arkansas Little Rock. They're definitely going to win this conference. There will be like a 15 seed. I don't see them doing anything in the tournament. Lastly, there's two more. The WAC, which, disclaimer, so they're the Western Athletic Conference, okay? They have a team in Seattle University, USU, University of Seattle, and Chicago State. We are as far away from Seattle as you can get. They also have New Mexico and Rio Grande Valley. What are you... I mean, there are just teams from everywhere in this conference. And they all stink, except for New Mexico State. They're 13-0 in conference. The only teams that are undefeated in conference play are New Mexico State and Dayton. But this team stinks. They stink. I mean, Cal Baptist is okay, but Seattle, Grand Canyon, UT Rio Grande Valley, University of Missouri, Kansas City, Utah Valley almost beat Kentucky, but Kentucky's a changed team. Cal State Bakersfield, and Chicago State hasn't won a conference game. They're 4-24. That's terrible. They're ranked last in the net. I might go to a Chicago State game. When do they play? Or who do they play? They played Missouri, Kansas City. They play at Seattle. I'm not going to that game. Obviously, because I don't live next to Seattle. When does March Madness start? The selection day is March 15th. The last conference is one I want to talk about. The West Coast Conference. West Coast Conference. Gonzaga obviously murdering everyone in the conference, but not BYU. They're 12-3 in conference. And I want to talk about BYU for a second. They did not start off great in their year. They did not start off great. They beat Cal State Fullerton. They lost to San Diego State by 5. All right. They beat Southern Utah. They beat Houston. They lost to Boise State in overtime. Beat UCLA. Ran through the woodshed. Word on why San Diego State losing Sweet 16. That's where I think that they're going to end. BYU wins the conference tournament. Ooh. All right, Virginia won. Okay, that's pretty ambitious to say that they're going to win out. Because they would have to beat Gonzaga again. I don't know, to be honest. Sky's the limit if they win out, but... Where's Gonzaga losing? Elite 8. Do you think Texas can get in? No. I don't think Texas can get in. But back to BYU, they got ran through the woodshed by Kansas. They lost to Utah, but then they rattled off some wins in a row. Lost to St. Mary's in overtime. Lost to Gonzaga. They got whooped by Gonzaga at their place. Lost at San Francisco, but after that loss at San Francisco, they beat Pepperdine, St. Mary's, Portland, San Francisco, Loyola Marymount, San Diego, Santa Clara. Huge win against Gonzaga. They are rolling with momentum. They could be, right now I have them as a 5. If they win out, which I don't think they will, but if they do, 3 seed. Don't think they will, though, but if they somehow do, all the power to you, Brigham Young. And then West Virginia could bounce back. Ooh, I think they can, but they're really not looking good, are they? Not at all. That's such a weird commercial. Oh, St. Mary's, you read my mind. That's where we're going to be going now. I think they're going to be an 8-9 seed. They might win their 8-9 game. I don't see them going much far after that, but I feel like they could. The way that St. Mary's is going to make a run is they like to play slowly, half-court tempo. They make you play to their tempo, and I feel like they could win a lot of games by doing that, but I don't see it happening. Pacific, 21-9. You like the RPI or the net? I really don't like either that much. Hold on, I have all four polls: the AP, the coaches, the top 25. What? Top 25 and 1. That's weird. And then the net. I don't like either the RPI or the net. I think the net's kind of garbage. Like, let's look at the full rankings for the net, okay? Let's just look at the full rankings. We got 4 minutes left to talk, and then I'm going to end the stream. Okay, Kansas, Baylor, Gonzaga, Dayton, San Diego State. Duke at 6, okay. They have Arizona at 7. How? How do you have Arizona? I don't even know where they got that. Florida State 8, Creighton 9. That's a bit high for me. Maryland 10, Louisville 11, Villanova 12, Michigan State 13. That is very high for Michigan State. BYU 14, also a little high. Texas Tech 15, way too high. Seton Hall 16, probably about accurate. West Virginia 17, too high. Colorado 18, all right. Ohio State 19, a little too high. They have Kentucky at 21. How? And they have Butler at 23. How do you Butler and Kentucky like the same? Butler's not even close to Kentucky. Michigan 22, that's about fair. St. Mary's 32, bit too high. Illinois 35, bit too low. Purdue 36, way too high. Alabama 40, way too high. Arizona State 41, way too low. USC 47, too low. Liberty 50. And now we're getting to the teams that will make the tournament. Yeah, but like, I'm not a fan. And then like the RPI had Auburn at 2 or something crazy like that. I didn't understand that. 58 minutes and 17 seconds. We got like a minute and 50 seconds left. Oh, bracketologist Joe Lenardi. Let's see what I want to hear what Joe Lenardi has to say. When your net ranking is the same as your points per game. The net is awful. I hate the net. His last 4 in is Oklahoma, Providence, USC, and NC State. Okay, USC is way past last 4 in stage. Providence, they should be in first 4 out. And then they cut. The Richmond Spiders, did they beat George Washington? They better have beaten George Washington if they want any chance to make the tournament. Thoughts on Foster Lawyer? I think he's pretty underrated. I used to hate him and think, oh my God, he's terrible. I never want him on the court. Tomorrow I'm probably going to do a Northern Iowa episode. But I like Foster Lawyer. I feel like when Winston leaves this year, I feel like he's going to actually play pretty well next year. His high school highlights, I mean, he was pretty good. Arizona's stats better than everyone else in the Pac-12. Not record-wise, not conference record. We got 30 seconds to go. I think I'm just going to hang this up. Oh, by the way, before we end, the worst team, Chicago State, 4-24. Kennesaw State, 1-26. Mississippi Valley State, 2-25. Howard, 2-26. Arkansas Pine Bluff, 4-23. Holy Cross, 3-26. Central Connecticut State, 4-25. All right, thank you guys for coming on to the stream. I will see you guys next time. Peace out. 5, 4.